Hi everybody, I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients are all throughout the United States and we help them with all types of immigration applications. So I'm an immigration attorney. Our firm only works in immigration law, in U.S. immigration law. So if you're looking for advice about moving to Canada, if you have a Canadian green card question, which we get actually pretty often, we're not going to be able to help answer those questions. But if you're thinking about bringing someone into the U.S. or helping someone stay in the U.S. legally, we can help you figure out a way, if there is one, to see if you're eligible for humanitarian, family, or employment-based options to remain in the U.S. or to bring somebody else into the U.S. based on employment, humanitarian, or family-based petitions and sponsorship. Okay, so I'm on here. I sometimes come on here live to answer questions, to answer your immigration questions. Usually I do it in the evening, and many people join, but I have some questions here. We're streaming live on multiple platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook right now. So we're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and you can put your question in anywhere you'd like, and you can also just say hello to me if you haven't seen me before. If you don't know me, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. Say hello, tell me where you're watching from. We have people on multiple platforms, and we have some questions. Hi Mohit, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, and thank you for joining me today. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in, and I'm happy to answer them for you. I will be on here for about the next 20 minutes or so to answer questions. I'll start off with some of our, what I usually do is a question of the day. It's a typical question that comes to us from people that call our office, from some of our clients or people that I have consultations with. And right now what I have on my mind is K visas. We just got a very complicated K-1 visa approved. We're really, really, really excited. A K visa, if you don't know what it is a fiancee visa. And so we have been helping the same person for the last 4 years. She has done a fiancé visa for her spouse in Afghanistan. That person had to leave Afghanistan given the whole Taliban takeover, and he had helped the US government, so he fled Afghanistan. He moved to Pakistan. We had to change the interview. We had to go through the embassy closing and deal with the embassy closing in Afghanistan, get the interview rescheduled, and of course the K-1 petition, which was approved, had already expired, right? Because they only validated it for 4 months. They had not seen each other in a really long time, and again, for fiancé visas, you have to have seen each other in the last 2 years, but given the circumstances, they were not able to see each other in a really long time. And ultimately, 4 years later, 4 years after we filed, we essentially were able to get that approved. He got the visa stamp and the passport. There were additional documents that were required by the government. And so we had all of these things that we had to take care of. It was super complicated because it was filed initially 4 years ago. Thank goodness they were still in a very strong relationship. And it's approved, and he's going to be here pretty soon. We're very, very excited for this couple, especially given the complications involved in this case. But that is one of the things that our firm does. We have a team that works only on U.S. immigration. We have a team that works together on a lot of pretty complicated cases. So what we do is we stay on it, we stay on top of it, we make sure that we kind of don't leave any stone unturned in terms of your visa application. If you're sponsoring someone, there are going to be complications sometimes along the way, and we help you navigate them. We help you get through them as quickly as possible, even given all of the various agencies involved, given changes that might occur that are completely out of your control, and we want to abide by the requirements of the law as well. So we do everything we can to make sure that you have the strongest case possible, and that we set you up for approval in any type of application that you might be pursuing. Okay, if you are just joining, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney based outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients are all throughout the United States, so we are able to help people with U.S. immigration all throughout the United States. If you don't already like us or follow us on our social media platforms, I would encourage you to do that. You can do that on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And right now what I'm doing is answering questions, providing general information about immigration that I think will be helpful to you. But if you would like a confidential consultation with me, it'll be by phone or by Zoom or in person in our office here in Arlington, Virginia. It'll be with me. It's usually about 30 minutes, and we talk specifically and confidentially about your case and go through your immigration history and figure out how, if any possible way, you might be able to get status, get a work permit, possibly a green card or citizenship here in the United States. Okay? All right, so call us if you want to schedule a consultation. You can reach us. We're open right now, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. You can also schedule yourself if you want to take a look at my availability and see if it coincides with your schedule. You can go take a look on Facebook, which is Agarwal Immigration is our handle, or our website, agarwalimmigration.com. So check out Facebook or check out our website, agarwalimmigration.com, if you would like to go ahead and schedule your consultation now. But you can also, if you prefer, call our office, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Hi, Prakash. Prakash is saying, I am a U.S. citizen. My son is over 21 and unmarried, and I-130 is approved. How long is the waiting time? So that actually depends on what your nationality is, what your son's nationality is. So if your son is over 21 and you're a U.S. citizen and you're sponsoring them, one, they have to be in status if they're in the United States. If they're not in status, that means they may have to wait outside the U.S. So if they're currently outside the U.S., the wait time could be 16 to 17 years. You can check it. You can check what they're currently processing online. You can check out, it's called the Visa Bulletin. So if you just Google Visa Bulletin, it'll tell you what the date of the application that they're currently processing. It'll give you an idea of what the wait time is. I want to say it's about 16 or 17 years for children of U.S. citizens that are over 21, adult children of U.S. citizens. Okay, I hope that is helpful to you. Reach out if we can help you answer any of those questions or help you with your green card applications. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Mohit is saying, what happens after VAWA fingerprints? What happens after VAWA fingerprints? So usually after VAWA fingerprints, for our clients, the next step is very exciting. You receive your work authorization and your travel authorization if you qualify, right? So people that are in removal proceedings may not qualify for that. So what we need, what most people, we filed the green card and the VAWA application together. After the fingerprints are taken, the next step is work authorization and travel authorization for most of our clients. So if you would like your help with your VAWA case, if you're interested in seeing if you qualify for VAWA, give us a call. You can reach us at 703-348-1663, or you can schedule a consultation online on our website, agarwalimmigration.com, or on our Facebook page, Agarwal Immigration is the handle. If you don't know me, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. We help clients all throughout the United States with all types of immigration applications. Okay. Hi, Jermaine. Nice to see you. Glim says, I got a pre-approval letter from USCIS on VAWA. They stated that I can access public benefits. Will accepting those benefits harm my case? That is a great question. I'm so glad that you asked that question. So VAWA and a VAWA-based green card is not subject to whether it's not subject to the public charge requirement. So if you know what that means, if you understand what that means, it means that using public benefits is not going to impact your VAWA or your VAWA-based green card. So if you need to go to a shelter, if you need to get some public benefits, these are here because you are in a bad situation. If you are applying for a VAWA and you receive this pre-approval, this prima facie letter, that means that your case is most likely on track to being approved, right? So your case looks like it's on track to being approved ultimately, and using those benefits, this prima facie letter is there to help you get benefits, to help you gain independence, to help you escape from abuse. So don't hesitate to use those benefits to get back on your feet if you need it, okay? Give us a call if we can help you with your VAWA case. If you have VAWA related questions, we handle these cases pretty often. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney, and we do help clients all throughout the United States with all types of immigration applications. Great question, Glam. Thank you for asking that. All right, let me pull up some of the other questions I have here. Ooh, sorry. Wow, there's a lot. Okay, hold on. Prakash says, thank you, you're welcome. How long is an I-601 waiver take to get approved? So an I-601 waiver, it's not, you don't just apply for an I-601 waiver. I'm assuming you mean an I-601A provisional waiver, right? So if that's what you mean, which is basically for people, so let's say it's often used in this kind of scenario. So you entered illegally, then you married a U.S. citizen, for example, and because you have an illegal entry, you can't kind of move forward with a normal, easy process for a family-based green card, right? So if you entered with a visa and then you married a U.S. citizen, you would just file adjustment of status, you would file an I-130 petition in most cases, and then just move forward with the green card that way. The whole process would happen in the U.S. But if you have an illegal entry, you might be subject to certain bars to inadmissibility, meaning if you left the country, you may be prevented from re-entering the country for a certain amount of time. It could be 3 years, it could be 10 years, it could be permanently in some situations. So what the 601 waiver, 601A waiver does is get pre-approval for you to leave the country, to process your green card, and come back in. Because the only people that can process their green card in country, in many cases, not in every type of case, but in many cases in a marriage-based green card sponsorship that is straightforward, not humanitarian, just a typical family-based on marriage green card, right? For those situations, you have to have a legal entry. And then you have to be married to a U.S. citizen if you're out of status right now. So the 601 waiver helps fix the problem of you maybe not having a legal entry when you last came in. They let you process that green card abroad at the embassy in your home country, but they give you permission before you leave so you can re-enter after processing the green card, and you won't be subject to any bars to re-entry if you would otherwise have been subject to that. So that is what that is. How long does it take to get approved? It can take a while. So the whole thing can take several years. I want to say around 5 years for the whole application, to get the waiver, to get the NVC, to get documents approved by NVC and then transferred over to the embassy. It can take several years. So it is a longer process. If you are considering a 601 case, you might consider whether or not you're eligible for something like VAWA. You may not think that you're eligible, but if you have problems in your marriage, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, and the problems can be, people kind of shy away at thinking of problems in a marriage, but the problems in the marriage could be fighting with your spouse, arguing with your spouse putting you down, making you feel bad. If those things exist, let's see if you're eligible for VAWA, because if you are eligible for VAWA, then you don't have to process your green card abroad. You don't have to leave the country to process your green card abroad. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, you're considering something like a 601 waiver, 601A waiver, to apply for your green card, that may be the way that you have to go if you don't qualify for VAWA. But if you do qualify for VAWA, what could happen is you may be eligible to process that green card here in the U.S. So that's something you at least want to do a consultation on to see if you qualify, so you can find out the process and see what the benefits are. And one of the benefits of VAWA are that you can process the green card in the U.S. without having to leave the country. Okay? Call us if we can help. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. And you can schedule your consultation online or on our website. agarwalimmigration.com, online on our Facebook page, which our handle is, Agarwal Immigration. So that hopefully is helpful to you guys too. Okay, and you can of course call us. We're open right now. Usually I'm on in the evening, so I usually tell you guys to go online to be able to schedule a consultation. But if you want to call our office right now, because it's the afternoon, we're open till 5 p.m. Eastern time, you can reach out to us now, and my assistant Kriza, who is wonderful, will take your call and help you schedule your consultation. Okay. Again, to reach her, you can call 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. All right. Okay, I hope that helps you, Bay. Oh, and thank you, Jillian, for following us. Just a reminder, if you don't already follow us on our social media platforms, that's something you might think about doing if you want to log on to be notified when I'm on here live to talk about immigration, right? If you think you might have questions down the road, if you want to be notified so you can join us and just get a better understanding of U.S. immigration laws, of course, go ahead and do that. But the best way to be notified, since I kind of am not at the same time every day, I try to be similar in terms of when I'm on, but sometimes I'm on in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening. I would suggest making sure that you follow us on our social media platforms, and you can do that on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Our handle is the same on all the platforms. It's Agarwal Immigration. Okay, great. And if you have friends that might be interested in learning about immigration, that's something that you want to share with them. Share this post with them so they can also be notified when I go live. Okay? Boo says, hi, Pratibha. Hi, Boo. How are you doing? Glam says, what if you get travel and work permit and my lawyer gives the green light to travel? Will they stop you when you re-enter? And if they do, can my lawyer contest the reason for preventing me to re-enter the U.S.? So what we tell our clients when they're applying for a VAWA is we tell them to hold off on travel until they get their green card. And we, of course, sometimes there's an emergency, but what we've seen sometimes when people are returning, when they have a green card and advanced parole through something like VAWA, they leave the country. When they're coming back in, we've had consultations with people that have gotten questioned at the border about their VAWA case, and they're not prepared for that. They don't have their lawyer with them there. So they're just, sometimes they've been on a really long flight and they're coming back to the U.S. and they're not sharp and they can't remember all the dates exactly. So they end up saying things that might be inconsistent with the application that's submitted. And that can happen. I think it can happen, especially when you're exhausted and it's hard to remember the exact dates in certain situations, and you're getting questioned on VAWA and you're not prepared to be talking to the government about your case. So what happened in one of the consultations that I had is the person came in, they traveled on VAWA, they had a strong VAWA case, they traveled on the advanced parole from their green card that was attached to the VAWA application. They came in, they were questioned, they didn't, I wasn't there, we weren't representing them at the time, this was before they reached out to us, and they said a bunch of things, and then ultimately what they said was used against them in their VAWA case. So, and the VAWA was ultimately denied. So we don't want that to happen. So what I would say is don't travel, stay put, fly domestic if you can, because you don't want to jeopardize a case that is currently pending after working so hard, after going through everything that you have gone through. I would say, stick to it. Don't jeopardize the case if you can kind of hold off on traveling, okay? Excuse me. I hope that is helpful to you, Glam. I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but I want to be straightforward. There are some risks associated, at least in my opinion, with traveling. But on the other hand, I should also know we have had many clients that travel on VAWA that have no problem at all when they enter. So that is still something that could happen. In my opinion, why take the risk if you don't absolutely have to do that? Liza says, any update on the registry? I assume you mean the H-1B lottery registration. Thanks, guys. Oh, sorry. I'm coffin. No update. The lottery was run in March, and we haven't heard of it being run again. So you'll be notified if you were registered. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is my question of the day. This is what I've been trying to answer, and I actually only have a few minutes before I have to hop off because I have a consultation coming up. But I wanted to get on here in the little time that I had in between my consultations to answer some of your questions. Okay, so this is my question of the day that I normally get to right in the beginning. And it comes up a lot, especially for people that are considering a fiancé visa or a green card. So this situation, what it would look like is if you are a U.S. citizen, or if you're abroad and you're married to a U.S. citizen, one person, the foreign national, is abroad. The U.S. citizen lives here in the U.S. and they're thinking about how best and what's the fastest way to bring that person that is abroad into the U.S. So number one, you can only qualify for a fiancé visa if you are not married. So if you're not married, if you're already married, your spouse is living abroad and you're a U.S. citizen, you do not qualify for a fiancé visa. So don't consider it. Some people talk about legal marriages and religious marriages and all of that. If your marriage is legal where you got married, in the country that you got married in, if it's considered legal in any way, even if it's just a religious marriage and you didn't register it, if that is not a requirement in that country, it is still a legal marriage. So check out what the requirements are. If you're already married, you are not eligible for a fiancé visa. Number two, in my opinion, I would always go with the marriage green card over the fiancé visa, because this is my reasoning. It takes about the same amount of time. If you apply for a fiancé visa and you receive that fiancé visa and you come in, then you're applying for a green card after your spouse enters the U.S. If the fiancé visa and the marriage-based green card timing is basically about the same, I would much rather just have a green card when I enter, right? So you might as well think about getting married and then applying for a green card. So if you are married to somebody abroad and you're sponsoring them for a marriage-based green card, the thing to remember is to make sure you have as much evidence as possible on good faith marriage. So you want to show that you got married not just for immigration purposes, but it's a real marriage, that you've had a relationship with this person, and show whatever proof that you can. It could be joint travel. It could be just the fact that you travel to go and visit them for a couple of weeks. It could be, text messages and photographs and social media posts about being in a relationship, gifts that you bought each other if you actually got married and had a ceremony, proof of that ceremony, receipts for vendors, receipts for jewelry and things like that. These are all things that could be helpful in a marriage-based green card application. So I hope that is helpful to you. I would much rather do a marriage green card. In terms of timing, if it were me doing it, if I had to be with someone who was abroad, I would much rather do a marriage green card as opposed to a fiancé visa, because right now the timing that I'm seeing is about the same for either of them. So I would much rather enter with that marriage-based green card. Okay? Call us if we can help you with either a fiancé visa or a marriage-based green card, and you can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. And you can, of course, schedule a consultation online or on our website, agarwalimmigration.com, online on our Facebook page, which is Agarwal Immigration. All right. Okay. How about working on a K-1 visa, right? Can I work on a K-1 visa? This is, again, a fiancé visa, so usually only people that are U.S. citizens can sponsor their fiancés for a visa to enter the U.S., okay? So let's say you or your fiancé entered the U.S. and they want to know about working before they get married. So you only have a very limited amount of time that you can work on a K-1 visa. You do have to apply for work authorization after they come in on that fiancé visa. They have to apply for work authorization before they're eligible to work. Okay, So most of the time, practically, it doesn't really make sense for someone who comes in on a fiancé visa to then apply for work authorization. What I would do is get married, right? Because once someone enters on a fiancé visa, you have to get married to them within 90 days. So if they come in, I would get married within 90 days, of course, and then apply for a green card. And based on a pending green card, you can also apply for and qualify for work authorization and for travel authorization. So I would do that over applying for work permit based on a fiancé visa, because it's only allowed for 90 days, and practically it doesn't really make sense, because what you need, if you get married, you can apply for a green card and not necessarily work authorization based on a fiancé visa, right? And once you apply for a green card, you're going to qualify for work authorization and travel authorization just based on a pending green card application. I hope that clarifies it for some of you guys that are thinking about K visas, which is a fiancé visa, or a green card. Call us if we can help, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. All right, awesome. And then last question about K visas. Is it possible to extend a K visa? Is it possible to extend a K visa? No, you can't extend this K visa. Essentially, the K visa is intended for your fiance who is abroad to come into the U.S. and for you guys to get married, and then for that person to apply for a marriage-based green card. So theoretically, that fiance visa would be much faster, but in most cases, at least what we've seen, it's about the same amount of time as a marriage-based green card. So I would just get married first abroad and then come in on that marriage-based green card, right? Because you are all set. They enter as a green card holder. They have work authorization immediately. They have travel authorization immediately. They're allowed to be here permanently as soon as they enter the U.S. So there are huge, huge benefits to applying for and receiving a green card, as opposed to a K-1 visa that has more restrictions and more requirements associated with that. Okay, I hope that helps you guys. I do have to hop off, but let me see if there's any quick questions that I can answer. Yeah, Steve says, hi, I'm a U.S. citizen and my Filipino girlfriend is here on a tourist visa. Can I marry her and can she stay? So most likely, yes, I would say, Steve. I'm not sure. I need to know your situation, but in many times, if someone enters on a if someone enters on a tourist visa, they're marrying a U.S. citizen. If there are no other complications or issues, most of the time that is going to work. That's going to be fine. So yes, you can ultimately sponsor her for a green card. There are some issues to consider. If she entered on a tourist visa with the intention of getting married and living here permanently, that could be considered misrepresentation or fraud when it comes time for the green card interview. So you want to make sure that I would suggest waiting some time before you apply, before you get married. You don't want to take actions that negate the intent of the tourist visa. But if she didn't come here with that intention, you should be fine. But just to avoid any potential issues, I would wait at least a few months to get married before you do. All right. Hope that's helpful, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be on again, hopefully later this week. If not this week, then next week. But it was nice to see so many of you, and make sure to like us and follow us if you don't already. Excuse me, I need to get off, huh? Make sure you like us and follow us if you don't already follow us and like us on our social media platforms. We're Agarwal Immigration on all the platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We are Agarwal Immigration. If you want to call us for a consultation, if you want to chat confidentially about your immigration case, or if you want to think about working with us, please schedule a consultation, and you can do that by calling our office, 703-348-1663. Again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. Make sure you like us, follow us, share this post with others, and I will see you again very soon, guys. Thank you so much.